Good morning, everybody. This is Tom at Talent Guitar Works. I am a repair facility and part-time, possibly OEM builder in Southwest Florida. I've built a bunch of guitars before. I just haven't done any in about a year and a half now, and I've kind of gotten away from that because there are so many guitar options out there in the market already. So we gave away our first item off of the page, and I said when the page got monetized, and I still haven't received any money for it. I am monetized though. I was going to start giving away things, and we had a subscriber who said he couldn't find a certain size saddle. He had a very narrow gauge string spacing that was under 2 inches. And I said, well, let me look, let me see if I have something in takeoffs. And he was like, hey man, I don't want to buy anything. I was like, don't worry about it. So what I had done is and you accumulate, trust me, takeoff parts, and you accumulate parts that are on sale a lot of times from the distributors. Some of the distributors will send me an email sometimes and say, hey, we've got a sale on 250K pots, or we have a sale on resistors for treble bleeds, or we have a sale on this or that. And you say, yeah, let me get 5 of those, let me get 10 of those, let me get 20, 30 of them, and you'll keep them on hand so you don't have to make customers wait when you do a repair. So what happened was I had bought 5 tremolo systems, all parts tremolo systems, from the Stratosphere, and I want to say 5 or 6 years ago. And I said, they're 2-point trems, they're really nice, they had a nice block on them, they came with all the parts, still wrapped and everything, they weren't open box. And I put them in with the rest of my trems. And I realized like 5, 6 years later, I still hadn't used one. So when I went outside and I measured them, they were under the 2-inch string spacing. Now, a lot of times when it's under 2-inch string spacing, it's set up for a 3/4 size or half size guitar or a smaller guitar that's made for smaller hands. And I still don't get that when I watch all those Korean kids playing big 16 fretboard radius classical guitars in unison, and they're like 5, 6 years old. I'm like, I don't know. I probably couldn't have done it at 5 or 6 years old either, though. So what I'm going to do with the channel, if I have a video out and it's on something specific on parts and stuff, and you're trying to source a part, feel free in the comments to check with me and say, hey, if you ever come across, or if you have one of these, hey, let me know, because I do have bins of takeoff parts. And what that means is a customer will come in, and I'm a Babbage bridge dealer, and they want a Babbage bridge put on their Fender or their Les Paul or whatever it is. And I put it on. I said, do you want the old bridge? I always offer to give it back. And most of the time they say, no, you keep it, because they're they don't want to store all those parts. And I've done it in the past with different things like Harley Davidson parts, where I had parts for a motorcycle I no longer had, and was like, oh, well, I put custom parts on, that's what I sold the bike with. Why do I still have these parts? Parts is parts. I would rather some of these parts get back in. So there are several options on the parts. One, if it's just a takeoff part that I acquired, I'm probably going to send it to you either free or for the cost of shipping, depending on how heavy it is. If it's a pound or 2 and it's going to cost me a couple bucks to ship it, I may say, hey man, I'm going to ship it to you when you get it. Venmo me the money, I don't care, or just give me a super chat or something like that on the channel. On this last one, I shipped it out to him free. He told me his situation on what he was trying to fix and repair and rebuild, and it inspired me to do that, because I thought this is exactly how well you need to know your guitar to know that you have a problem here, and trying to source those parts was difficult, and they are kind of off the wall parts. You're not going to find them when you're looking for regular trims and all that stuff. So if there are any parts, if I'm covering a topic like that, or if you just want on the sidebar say, have you ever come across this? Yes, because I did have a friend who passed away who owned a music store, and his kids called me and said, hey, you can come in and get all these guitar parts, we don't know what the hell they are. And I literally took a truckload of guitar parts out of there that were, and when I say a truckload of guitar parts, I know a lot of you are going, brand new in the box. No, they were takeoffs too. And, some of them were usable, some of them weren't. But they needed to get the facility cleared so they could get out of the lease on the building. And they needed somebody that was gonna come in and meticulously go through and take everything that they asked to take. So that's how we did that. Right now, my concrete is curing. I think the county has come out. Charlotte County is great. I love Charlotte County, and I hope all those Charlotte County commissioners are watching this. Charlotte County is very easy to navigate their building department. I wasn't in there for more than 30 minutes each time I went, and that was just waiting. A lot of it was just 10 or 15 minutes waiting to see the next available agent. Our DMV is also excellent down here, by the way. I go in without an appointment and I'm out in 20 minutes with everything renewed that I needed to have renewed and happy and smiling and all that stuff. But Ronald B. Croft did a great job on the construction stuff. I was surprised. I was an engineer in my former career, and I was surprised that they pulled the forms at about 2 hours into the pour. I was like, okay. That concrete had additives and set up like a high early type of concrete that they use for bridges and whatnot around the world, so that they set quick and they've got to be hosed down. So we've been hosing it down. The afternoon thunderstorm's been helping with that. It really looks good. It's a class job. It was 32 cubic yards of concrete went into the floor of the building. The next phase will be with EverSafe Buildings, that is putting up Carolina carports, metal building for me, and that's got one front roll-up door that's 10 feet wide, a side entry door, and then a rear roll-up door on the side entry door side that's 6 foot by 8 foot, a little bit smaller, but to get wide stuff through there. So I'm looking forward to that, because then I can empty my garage and my storage unit of all the equipment that's stacked up. There's a trail down the center of my garage. I'm also looking forward to working in an open space again, where I am not cramped up and working in 100 degrees with the Florida heat and a fan blowing on me and trying not to sweat on people's guitars. Yeah, I keep the guitars in the house because we have air conditioning, obviously. But when I have to go work on a piece or a part or something, I'm out in the garage, and it's a little warm these days. But we do call this summer. When I was a kid, hey, we didn't have air conditioning in the classrooms, and yes, we sweated it out. Had teachers yell at us and say, "You're just getting yourself hotter by trying to fan yourself." It's always funny. So, having said that, if you need a part, a specific part, you're trying to find it. If you have questions on, nut materials, if you have questions on finding a specific bridge, I have a harmonica bridge from a Gibson that was given to me. Somebody said, I don't know what this is, and just gave it to me. And I was like, you sure? They said, yeah, okay, all right, so I got it. But all that stuff, if you're trying to find an antique part, I'm not gonna gouge you like some of these guys do on Reverb, where it's like, oh, this is worth $3,000. I had to pay $199 for a restoration on a Rickenbacker 4003 for the input jack plate. Now, yes, it does have the serial number on the jack plate, but the other one was rusted through where it couldn't be used, and the customer wanted a Rickenbacker jack plate, and that's what he got. He got that Rickenbacker 4001 or 4003, I can't remember what it was, jack plate put on the guitar. So restorations are a little, but in the future, when the shop opens back up, we'll also be doing some pre-wires on pick guards. So if some of you get stuff in that you're like, I got solderitis, I really don't want to solder anything, You can contact me. It's gonna cost you a little bit in shipping. It's not gonna cost you a lot in the labor part of soldering it. As long as you're not doing really wazoo. I got triple blenders to split every single pole piece and you know, that stuff. If it's a standard wiring job and you need it wired up, drop it in the mail in that $5.99. I could ship it anywhere in the United States. I'll probably do the whole thing for you for like $20 and send it right back. So depending on what you got, like I said, don't send me I want every pole piece to have its own volume in town. No, 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 no. I have to see that. So anyway, this is Tom from Talon Guitar Works. I'm enjoying a very cool morning in comparison in Southwest Florida, and we'll be getting you more videos out soon. Remember, only half of my ideas are any good. You have to decide which half. Hope you're having a great day.